Hello and welcome to BW Hotwires. Today we have with us Mr. Suresh KV from ZF India. Hello, Mr. KV. Thank you so much for talking to BW Auto World.
Thank you, Avishek. Thanks a lot for this opportunity.
Okay. ZF India has recently announced investments worth 200 million euros. So, unlike other companies which are, downsizing, you are one of the few companies which is expanding its business. So, tell us the reasons that you are so optimistic about the Indian automotive market, and also what would the amount be spent on? Where all will you be deploying those financial resources?
So, thanks, Avishek. Yes, as you rightly said, we have been announcing the various investments. Fundamentally, we believe in the Indian market. The basic principles on which the Indian market has been set up, we feel that is the right thing to do. There are ups and downs in any market. And if that is due to an assignable cause, which is related to a pandemic or certain decisions, certain laws which have come in, I think it is only a passing phase. So we believe that the current downturn, which happened because of the second wave of the pandemic, is only a passing phase. And we strongly believe that the Indian market is ready for a rebound. And that's exactly why we believe that this market, that we need to keep a very close watch on the Indian market and make our presence significant in both the automotive industry as well as in the industrial business. And that's exactly why we feel that we should invest in the Indian industry. The second important aspect is we are not just looking at the top line alone. We are also looking at how can we make India one of our indispensable part of our overall ZF's strategy.
Okay, so and can you talk a little bit about the investments, the 200 million euros,
You see,
where all spending?
this is spent across the spectrum. Some of them will be related to the new plants which will be coming up with. Certain things are related to the product which we are introducing into the market. Some of them are related to the growth which we are seeing in the engineering sector through in the tech center in Hyderabad, as well as the engineering in other plants which are related to application engineering. So it is spread across functions. It is spread across the various aspects of business.
So the government is talking about e-mobility. They are, doling out stocks and subsidies, and of late they have come with PLI schemes. So how big is the company betting on it? So what kind of products and solutions are you offering, particularly for the domestic EV market? If you can run us through that.
We are actually in a wait and watch methodology. We saw that the FAME 2 has been supporting the EV introduction,
Yeah.
and I think the PLI scheme also dovetails with what they have introduced in the PLI area, in the FAME 2 area. So what we need to keep in mind is that we need to look at how the customers, the OEMs, are going to take advantage of these SOPs which the government has announced. What would be their approach? And accordingly, we will be supporting the OEMs to make the EV business successful in the region.
Okay, so can you talk about some of the global product lines that you have developed for e-mobility, which you wish to introduce in India in due course or in the long to medium term?
So you can see that we have the e-axle and the various the motors and the other related activities as far as EV is concerned. Some of them are ready for introduction. Some of them are in the PPAP stage. I would only like to say that it is basically dependent upon the customer requirements.
You have recently taken over WAPCO. Globally, you have taken over WAPCO, right? So, and WAPCO has a sizable presence in the CV sector in India. So, what kind of synergies do you intend to derive from your WAPCO acquisition, particularly in India? And will it be like, will you then be exceeding your focus on CV sector than in PV sector going forward?
You see, if you look at our presence in the CV and the PV sector, we were always in the CV sector mostly through our own wholly owned subsidiaries. That ZF India was producing transmissions, chassis components, and shock absorbers from Pune facility, and we were having a sizable presence in the steering market through our joint venture in Rani. Now, with WAPCO getting added to ours to the ZF world, our presence in the CV sector has significantly increased. So it is, as I would only like to say that it is not that we are going to focus on commercial vehicles more than passenger vehicles. We would like to grow in the medium term across industries. With this, what happens is we have a envious combination of the technology from ZF and the frugal approach and the competitive spirit of WAPCO. And I'm sure that the customer and finally the consumer will benefit out of this combination.
How upbeat are you? How, or I should say, how, prompt are you in our Prime Minister's vision of making products in India and exporting it to multiple countries? Because your products and solutions are particularly for, if I'm not wrong, German and American OEMs, evolved OEMs. So, some thoughts, sir?
This is a great question. I think Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India goes hand in hand. Make in India for the world is an offshoot of our strengths. India has the capability in terms of frugal engineering, in terms of cost advantages, and last but not the least, we have a population wherein the majority lie in the employable age. This is a great advantage we have, and the Prime Minister's initiatives like Skill Up India and Startup India will also complement us to build up the skills and have small startups which will help the big multinationals to grow and ramp up at a faster rate. My view is that the Indian capabilities needs to be tapped upon to ensure that the global requirements are also being met, but we also need to adapt ourselves for the Indian market. So I feel we are completely aligned with the Make in India concept. We are looking at the manufacturing footprint in such a way that we have a healthy combination of local for local and also made for the global requirements. If you look at most of our plants, you will see that it has an export content and a local content. And that's exactly how we make sure that we are part of the Make in India campaign. And again, when it comes to new products being industrialized, over a period of time, we strongly push the case of localization. And that is how we are supporting the initiative of Atmanirbhar Bharat. We feel that the Indian talent can be utilized not only for the manufacturing capabilities, but also for exporting services, which are either business services and not to talk about the engineering and software development services.
Okay, can you put a figure like how much worth of auto components are you sourcing from India for your global operations? Because I read somewhere that it's in million euros. So if I can just know the value.
If you remember, in 2017-18, we had launched an initiative of 100 million euros worth of exports from India to the other ZF entities. Today, I can only tell you that we have more or less gone 2.5 times of that, in spite of the fact that there is a drop because of COVID. So I can only tell you, but however, it is also in the public domain that we are targeting a 2 million euros worth of exports by 2030.
Would you like to share the company's current and projected turnover? Because I've read somewhere that ZF expects to be a 3 billion euro company in India by 2030. So would you like to reinforce that claim? If yes, what would be the growth drivers and which segment or which vertical will give you the maximum revenues and all?
we are talking about 2030. So it is 20 in, yes, it is 3 billion euros worth of turnover by 2030 and 2 billion euros worth of material sourcing from the region. That's what our target is. We are looking at all the segments, commercial vehicle, passenger car, as well as the industrial segments to support the growth. We know that we need to do investments there. So we are in the process of converting that 3 billion into action plan, where we are going to target the various product segments. We strongly believe that there will be a combination of the EV of products in the EV space and also the well-known technologies from the ICE space for some time. We also are targeting the aftermarket to ensure that we are present and we are able to provide services to the end consumer with genuine products and genuine services. So with all this, we are focused on all the industrial segments we are in, and we know that we will be able to double down on all these segments and grow ourselves into the to the target which we have. So we have a clear-cut plan in place.
What is the roadmap that you have prepared for ZF India? In the next few years. What kind of strategies are you going to chalk out? And where do you want to see the company in the next few years? And will India be your biggest revenue generator? If you can talk a little bit about that.
It is also clearly defined that we will be looking at increasing our presence in India by having more and more engineering developed in the region. We will look at software development to be done out of the region. So, and last but not the least, we look at India becoming a hub for making sure that other ZF entities are able to utilize the Indian capabilities, whether it is material sourcing or it is engineering development, or even if it is business services. So we, in a nutshell, I can only say that India is being looked at by ZF into two buckets. Bucket number one is India as a revenue market, where we will have to support the OEMs with our products. Then two, India as a hub, where we will look at India for supporting the manufacturing footprint, for exporting from India to other locations, looking at the Indian vendor base and looking at the Indian talent pool for developing engineering, software, and the supporting the business services.
Thank you, Mr. Suresh, for talking to BW Businessworld. It was wonderful interacting with you. It was great to know about your company's vision and mission. We wish you all the best for that.
Thanks a lot, Avishek. Appreciate you giving us an opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.